Welcome to the Write Your Own Story podcast. I'm your host, Betsy Leonidas, and the founder of the Write Your Own Story company. Girl, I can tell you right now, you are definitely enough. Here we value service, sisterhood, connection, laughter, and that super genuine, keep it real, tell you like it is honesty. My hope is at the end of each episode, you realize you can do whatever it is you dream about and that you are not alone with what you struggle with. I'm hoping that you are snapping and clapping and hell yes in your way through each one of these episodes. So if this tracks with you, let's get started. I'm so glad you're here. Okay, roll it, sister.
All right, ladies, we have a little bit of a change in plans today.
Yes, we do.
Because I'm going to be the host of Write Your Own Story. My name is Jill Smith, and I am a college friend of Betsy Leonidas. And today's open book is going to be a little bit about your story and how you've written your own story.
Here we go. Oh my gosh. Okay, let's pause for 1 sec and just talk about how you and I know each other. We fell in love in college. Oh man. We lived together in college. We have been on spring break together so many times. Did we listen to Remix to Ignition?
We did.
We drove. Yes. Was it on my CD player?
Yes, in your car, 21 hours to Fort Lauderdale.
Yes. Oh my God. We made up a whole dance. It was seated, obviously. And then we moved to New York together. You were in my wedding. I mean, yes. God, we have known each other just a minute.
Yes, we've been through the ups, we've been through the downs, and everything in between.
Some of my favorite Jill stories before we get started. Oh gosh, yeah. If I have to spill my guts, I'm totally.
This is gonna make me uncomfortable for like 1 minute. Then it's all about you.
Oh, okay. I'm not ready for this. Okay, so for those watching on Reels on YouTube, Jill's hair is as blonde as it gets. I mean, this has been Jill's hair color. It's obviously your natural hair color. Obviously. When we lived in New York and you went to go get your hair done, it was maybe like one shade darker. Jill comes home in tears and she's like, my hair is brown. It is literally brown, because no one in New York had ever seen such a platinum blonde before.
I know.
I almost didn't recognize you.
Well, living in New York, I remember walking to the office, smiling ear to ear. And quickly realizing no one was smiling back and everyone was brunette for some reason.
Yes.
And I remember saying to the hairdresser, maybe we try a low light. And then I left so upset about it, because this is all I can do. And this is me. Don't you ever change. It's perfect. I literally wouldn't recognize you if you weren't just a highlight at all times. And you're just, I mean, the cutest and the most gorgeous. Some of my other favorite Jill stories, when we lived in New York and you would just get so sleepy after a night out at the bar. Oh God. I know where this is headed.
Yes. We would come home and Jill would just be so sleepy on the couch with just a bag of trail mix, because she's the healthiest eater I have ever met. When we got pizza for the kids tonight, first of all, for the record, we have how many kids downstairs? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 kids downstairs. Oh, Adeline's a lacrosse, whatever, moving target. And we ordered pizza and I was like, I better get a salad for Jill. Like, she's the healthiest eater. So Jill would just, I mean, as all of us are like shoving cheeseburgers and pizza and leftover anything, Jill's like, little trail mix. But she'd just be so sleepy with trail mix sleeping on the couch.
I love a good trail mix.
You do love a good trail mix.
I really do. And a good salad. But even though I indulged in pizza tonight,
it almost knocked me over. Yeah. I couldn't handle it. Oh my God. What other good stories do we have? I mean, it's endless. I'm sure they'll come out through the episode. But Jill, honestly, to get for real for a second, is one of the people, like, when my life has ever sort of weebled and wobbled, you have always been here. And before I went to Miami, because I went to college at Charleston first, I was dating my high school boyfriend who was in your dorm. And you were like, let me meet Betsy. Yes. Not only did you meet Betsy, you were like, you need to rush. This is my sorority. If you want to join it, come join it. You were like, here are all of my friends. You made my boyfriend buy me the best gifts. Thank you for that. What else? I mean, then we were literally roommates. You hooked me up with the best apartments on campus. You gave me all of your high school friends. And then when we moved to New York, I was on my second interview with McCann. You had your moving package already. I literally shoved all of my things on your moving truck and crossed my fingers with a month's worth of rent
I know. That was a huge leap.
That was
I'm so proud of you for that. Because guess what? I needed you equally as much.
It was like the best decision of my life.
And I remember your boyfriend at the time, and we were like, what jewelry should we get? And in college, freshman year in college, Tiffany was all the rage. Rage. Whatever it was, a necklace or a ring or
and the
whatever.
Bracelets, remember? Oh my God. You hooked me up.
But it has always been just this mutual friendship respect.
Yeah, it really has been. It has been the best. I mean.
And then you also, for those of you listening, she brought me back to Cincinnati.
Yeah, I did. I was like, so I lived in New York. You moved from New York to Chicago. Mm-hmm. Did I leave first or did you leave first?
I left New York first.
Yeah.
And you moved to Brooklyn.
Yeah. And I moved to Brooklyn and you moved to Chicago. And then my mom got sick. I came home with my ex-husband and we were always just like, when's Jill coming home? Because you bleed Cincinnati. And then I don't know. It just
14 years later, made the leap.
Yeah, I know.
So glad I did.
Me too. Now our kids are in school together, and I don't know. No turning back now.
Yeah, it's amazing.
I love it. So thank you for doing this.
Thank you. Now this is going to shift gears because, by the way, this is about you, nobody else.
Oh boy!
All right, so we're going to do a little rapid fire question.
I'm going to drink
so for everyone to get to know you a little bit better. And I have some questions prepared. Please answer within a minute.
Okay.
Okay, some easy layup ones.
Okay. Wait, did Adeline help you make these?
Yes.
Good.
Yes.
My 10-year-old is in on this and she's sneaky.
She is sneaky.
And she's spicy. So
and I love her for that. Just like her mama. All right. First let's tell the audience your full name.
Elizabeth Fraser Leonidas.
Age.
29/42.
Relationship status.
Single as a Pringle.
I love it. Okay. What time does your alarm clock go off?
6 a.m.
6 a.m. Is that during the week? Like every day?
It is set during the week because I like to get a cup of coffee and my journal in or my meditation in before my middle schooler comes down at 6:30. Then we hang out for a little bit. And I know that feels real aggressive to all the middle school moms out there, but being a single mom of 4, so often my oldest is, just like he does his thing. And so that is like our special time in the morning. And we don't do anything special. We both just kind of sit there like, while I drink my coffee and he watches the show, but we're together and it's awesome. So yeah, 6 o'clock. So I can get it all in before Hayden comes down.
For those of you who don't know, Betsy's naturally caffeinated. So the fact that you have a cup of coffee is great.
Who lets me do this? So being an adult is fun.
Yeah. Okay. So 6 a.m. during the week. Yep. And then what about the weekend?
I don't set it on the weekends. But I usually, you know how it is. Once you get up at 6, I would say I wake up anywhere between 6 and 8 on the weekends.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm a morning person. I am a high kick, shimmy.
Yeah.
Who wants to hang out with me in the morning? But by like 4:30, I'm like, so
you're tired. You're ready for a nap.
I'm so tired. Yeah.
Okay. So then when do you go to bed?
Oh gosh, later than I should. I fall asleep in every kid's bed. And so when I do that, I actually go to bed kind of early. Like I'm probably asleep by 10. I try and get to sleep before midnight.
I love that. Because I think as women, it's hard to get that rest and find time for that.
Yes. And does anyone else feel that like that after your kids go to bed, I'm like, I need to zone out. There's probably one last thing I needed to do around the house. And I don't know, I'm so sluggish at nighttime where I'm like, okay, girl, wash your face, which like barely ever happens, but whatever. I'll figure that out.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. Nighttime is really hard for me. It is definitely my biggest parenting struggle is bedtime. It's hard.
Like getting all the kids down.
Yeah, and they're easy. Yeah. I'm just deeply, deeply exhausted because I'm such a morning person. I'm so naturally caffeinated that I have gassed out. Truly.
Yeah. That's where you get a shorter fuse and you're just all right, totally. Can we be done with this?
Yes. And so and then I turn into a fainting goat in each one of their beds because they're like this warm little stuffed animal. I'm like, I'll lay with you for just a minute. And then the next one comes and taps me and it's like, my turn. I'm like, okay. Because, I'm a hot mom.
Oh, yes, you are.
Thanks, girl.
All right. So when you are looking for some me time, what are some of the activities that you love to do most?
I live for a walk in the woods. And it's scary to do it by yourself. I I like bring all sorts of crazy stuff like bear spray. Like, what am I going to do with that? But yeah, it truly, nature resets me like 100%. I also like live for time to sit with my journal and just like let all my thoughts out, or like there's just always something I'm ruminating on, whether it be for self-growth or something in the world I'm thinking about. And my thoughts always organize themselves on paper. It is truly my ticket to freedom to sit with a journal. I love to watch a rom-com, or my other favorite, like on the weekends when I don't have the kids, is I get like lost in a book, you know, the kind you like can't put down. I'm not a read every night girl, because again, I'm a zombie. I'm like crying myself to sleep. I'm so tired. Yeah. So like, I want to just sit with a book all Saturday and just like rip through every page. That. Yeah.
It's so funny. I have never been a reader.
Right?
Like Us Weekly is about what I can do.
Yes.
But I just started. Like, I'm trying to read at night. Like,
what are you
goodbye
reading?
phone.
You need like a
you will not
book.
believe this. Like, I cannot believe I'm saying I just finished a book.
It's
so weird.
High five.
Thank you. It was called 27 Summers.
I don't think I've read that one. Maybe I have.
Know the author, because
I
don't.
Right.
Like, if I was in a
we're
book
not
club,
at that, we're not at that level.
Ellen, I don't remember. It's amazing. I cried at the end, which is very also weird for me because I'm not that emotional.
No, you are not a crier.
And yeah.
Oh my God.
I'll have to give it to you.
Oh my God. Yes, please.
Yeah. But I think that's amazing. Losing yourself in a book.
Yeah.
Getting outside on walks.
Yes, definitely. And also like, I love connection. So like, you know, just meeting a friend for coffee or for a walk or to go for drinks or whatever. I also love to draw and love to, and I color like I'm 5. But
well, this is no surprise.
Yeah,
giving all your notebooks and journals.
Right?
And...
I love to draw. I'll have to show you some. The kids just found some of my old drawings. I was like, oh yeah.
What do you draw?
I usually only draw in black and white. Well, okay. So this started, my mom is like an amazing artist. I am not, to be extra clear. But she used to draw on my napkin when I was a kid in my Peanuts lunchbox, and everyone would like gather around and be like, oh my God, what'd your mom put on the napkin? So cool. Right. Yeah, totally. Like a very maternal thing for Jane. Yeah. And, so then I started drawing on my kids' napkins, but I'm like, that didn't last long. I tried, you guys. I was like, I tried, but like, I can for real draw. So like, if you look up, you know, so when the kids have to pack like a brown bag lunch, it's my favorite thing. Like, cause I find drawing like incredibly cathartic, meditative. That's a word, I think. I'm not sure. So like, I will look up easy drawing of capybara or easy drawing of a manatee or easy whatever. And I'm like, I can nail that. But I just always draw black and white. And now I draw like more complex things just for me. But yeah, I'll have to show you. It's downstairs.
Okay.
Yeah, it's super fun.
We're learning so much about you. Okay, this is great. Okay, favorite food?
Pizza. Yeah, I wish I was more of a grown up. But
Rosas?
Oh God, I have to pick. No, like New York style.
New York.
Yeah, there was this one place like right by our first apartment that was so good. That just had like the best pizza. But really, like I also don't discriminate when it comes to pizza. Yes. I just love pizza. What is my favorite healthier food? Maybe broccoli, probably. And I don't know. That's a stretch.
Trail mix?
Yeah, maybe. I'll eat all the salty parts out of it for sure. I do eat healthy, but honest to God, I like, you could just put me on an island with pizza and I'd be completely fine.
I love that. Okay. Yes. Favorite holiday?
Oh, Christmas. Yeah. I don't know. I also really love Easter, but I think Christmas is my jam. It's really, although for all moms, it is like deeply exhausting. I literally love seeing Christmas through my kids' eyes. It blows my mind every year. It's just my favorite.
Yeah. And you're so good at hosting your whole family at your house. I love seeing the pictures of you guys on the staircase.
Yeah, I know,
like,
right?
It's a tradition.
It is. I'm really, traditions are like, they really just make my heart feel warm and cozy.
Yeah. I love that. Okay. So those are some layups. So
God.
These are just a few more.
Okay.
But tell me, over the course of your 42-year-old life
/29, continue
/29, what would you say are some of your most proud moments?
Goodness. Oh, this is a hard one. Dang, Jill, why you gotta be like that? Proud moments. Gosh, I would say the way I raise my kids through adversity. My relationship with my kids is something I'm really proud of. We are open and honest. We are safe and loving. There is all sorts of room for error. We focus on accountability and repair and just genuinely enjoying each other's company and lifting each other up. And my kids are really close. And like in those moments where like I feel anxious or overwhelmed, if I can like stop and climb back in my body and look at the 4 kids in front of me and just realize like, don't miss this. Like, don't miss out on this moment that's right in front of you. Don't get me wrong. I also like put them on their screens and like feed them. And I'm like, give me a minute. Yeah. But like, I mean, truly, like, I think that's one thing that I'm super proud of. I'm also, well, this is really weird. I'm really proud of my career. I'm like, you know, I've had a hell of a run. I got my first job. Like I literally canceled a dentist appointment and booked a plane ticket the next day. And with my intro interview to McCann, and, you know, was like up against people with MBAs and previous job experience, and got the second interview and they flat out said, we won't hire you until you move to New York.
Yes, you needed that address. I remember that.
Yeah. Apartment 9B.
Yeah, 9B, 51st and 2nd.
With Ben, the toy man. The best. So threw my stuff on the truck and believed in myself enough to go land the job. Got the job in 9 days.
That's incredible. I mean, fearless, completely fearless.
Yeah.
I mean, that is terrifying just to kind of move out of Ohio and move to New York City.
Yes.
And
yes,
definitely not be able to afford your rent.
Literally got my first raise because my supervisor saw me paying for my lunch and change. I was eating bagels. I'm 25. I have like the metabolism of a queen. Right. Yeah. And so I was paying for a bagel. And my boss at the time, Tom, who became the president of McCann, CMO of Microsoft, is standing behind me, and the kindest man saw me paying for my lunch and change. I don't even know if he noticed, but I died that day. And so I ran to my supervisor at the time. I was like, oh my God, Tom saw me paying for my lunch and change. Oh my God. And so she was like, you pay for your lunch and change? I was like, sometimes. So she literally ran up to his floor and was like, Betsy Fraser, which is my maiden name, pays for her lunch and change. He was like, she pays for lunch and change. I was like,
get this girl a raise.
And when you work at a global organization, you don't just snap your fingers and get a raise. Like, you know, like it has to go through approval after approval. Yes. Next thing I knew, I had my first raise.
That's amazing.
I know.
See,
some people earn it. Some people
moments matter. I mean, I remember walking home and seeing a sign. It was like sushi, $2.99. I was like, wow, I love sushi. And that's a great price. And I bought it. I was like, that is not a great
do not eat it. Do not eat it again. Do not eat it.
And then I remember we had, I don't know, like 3 straws. So we also had a roommate named Paige. Hi, Paige, if you're listening.
Hi, Paige.
And it was like, who pulled the shortest straw or whatever. Well, pretty sure you got the biggest room.
Yes, I did.
And then Paige got the room with the bathroom. Yes. And then, for the record, I didn't get a room. I had like a wall, a fake wall.
A temporary
wall.
Yes.
And that's it. It was in the family room.
You lived in the family room.
And that's, you know.
Oh my God.
These are some good memories. Okay.
I would say, I guess in general, like, I am proud of my fearlessness and my resilience, just kind of, and my kindness and authenticity as a person.
Yeah. Bringing yourself every step of the way. Even when you were using nickels and pennies to buy your lunch.
I was like, hey, Tom. Oh my God. Fast forward. He like hired me for contract work after I got divorced. I literally reached out to him after 20 years. He's just,
that's incredible.
He's just truly such a kind, brilliant, wonderful human. So Tom, if you're listening, thank you.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like in the workforce, as cutthroat as it is,
oh yeah,
the people who are kind, it's awesome to see them rise to the top.
Yes, he absolutely deserves it. Character, smarts, all the things. Yeah, for sure.
I love that.
Tom, thanks for the raise.
Now you can buy a McDonald's cheeseburger.
Yes, like live in Lars LaRosa's Pizza.
Yeah. Okay, so tell me, those are the proudest moments.
Okay.
What would you say are your biggest fears?
Oh God. It's endless, truly. To get for real, because I've had enough rosé to do it. My life has had so many moments where the rug has been pulled out from under me. I'm not alone in that. You know, I buried my first friend in 7th grade. She died of an aneurysm. Was here one day and gone the next. My daughter, you know, Adeline almost died. My marriage was what I thought was amazing and gone in a day. and countless more. And when you go through stuff like that, it is really, really hard to not have your head on swivel because you're terrified to feel safe again, because once you get comfortable, something horrible happens. But so it's like, I think that is something that I actively work on, to not live in fear every day. But I have noticed that, one, I'm still standing and I'm happy. And
you're glowing.
Thank you. It might be the rosé. Yeah. I am still standing and I feel happy and proud. It never kills you, as my friend Lauren says. And that, like, I have learned that when those big moments come, because life is life, I'm not the only one to have big moments. And those are just a couple of them. I've had plenty more. That you don't see them coming, which also kind of sounds more terrifying, but like I've gotten to a really peaceful place where like I'm actively working on every day to just let go of the fear. Cause like every time I never see them coming. So why waste these precious moments that I have?
Right.
And looking for fear when I could just enjoy what is right in front of me. And cause I know you never see them coming, and that's okay. Like, and when they do come, you sink to the bottom and you swim back to the top, and they always have a purpose. You know, there's always purpose in pain. And you just keep going and you make the best of it.
Right.
And that's what you do. And I'm so genuinely happy. But yeah, like, I mean, just to be super, super transparent, like fear is like one that has been one of the biggest pieces of personal work that I've had to do to let go of just to not constantly have my head on swivel, to be like, who's going to get sick? Who's going to hurt me? Who's, you know, I don't know, bad stuff happens, but also like, God, I would miss all the great moments.
Right.
And I refuse to do that.
I'm such a believer in everything happens for a reason.
Yeah.
Because look where you are now. And if this path didn't go this way, you might not have ever tried this.
Literally. I don't know if I ever would. And like telling women's stories is just so important to me. And I really do it out of service to other women, to be like, none of us are alone. Anyone who's listening to all the bad things that just happened to me is like, oh my God, that happened to me, or this happened to me. We've all got our stuff.
Right.
So yeah.
Right.
So I'm a little bit afraid of everything, but also very much working on that. And honestly, feel really good about it. I feel really good about it.
Good. Yeah. Well, you should. Okay. So that is shifting our gears. And that's the open book of Betsy Leonidas.
Yes.
So thank you for sharing a little bit about you.
Those were good. I'm surprised Adeline didn't ask what my favorite Taylor Swift song was. All Too Well, 10-minute version. Obs.
Well, for those of you who need to know this, she was just dancing to the Beyonce's new country song with a little line dance with Adeline, which is so cute.
There's nothing, I mean, dancing in the kitchen is at the top of one of my favorite things for joy.
Well, and it's just an example of you with your kids. And literally no one thought anything of it. Because it's clearly an average night.
It is an average night. Household. It is. I can't believe the boys didn't twerk for you. They were just feeling so shy.
Yeah. Okay, so speaking of fear, let's talk a little bit about Write Your Own Story.
Okay. Here we go.
And your journey and how you got started.
Yes. Okay. So, I only know how to tell long-winded stories. Write Your Own Story is the like medium version of it is after my marriage ended. I had approached my marriage and honestly my life to date as like, if you do everything you're supposed to do, I'm sure I did a lot. I know there are places in my marriage where I wasn't perfect wholeheartedly. But like, I sure tried to be the most perfect wife, the most perfect mother, you know, producing the most perfect children, having the most perfect career, just doing everything by the book and just working as hard as I could and then some. And my life still completely imploded. And then when I finally came up for air, I was just like, fuck it. I'm writing my own rules. I'm just going to live life how I want to live it. I'm going to sit and figure out what brings me joy. How do I want to raise my kids? What do I want to do for work? I mean, there are a lot of things where I'm like, okay, I got to make money. I got to make money fast in a more significant way. Like, you know, divorce is not for the weary. But that was really it. And once I finally, I mean, it took a long time for me to like really come back up for air. Because divorce genuinely changes everything about your life, every single bit of your routine. I mean, your kids that were in your life every day are not in your life every day anymore. Money is different. Everything is different. That said, once I came up for air and stood on my own 2 feet, I was like, fuck it. I'm writing the rules from here on out. And I have never been happier. And so it is so important for me, for women, to like put down the frickin' shoulds and whatever your mom tells you should be. And, you know, just be yourself, do your best, screw up and learn from it. Like just live your life in like the most authentic way you can. And I've seen so many women, all of us, people please and shapeshift and, you know, work either like we're at work and we have to pretend we don't have kids. And then we're at home, we have to pretend we don't have work. Like none of that is real. So it's like, I want women to be able to have the fortune that I had without having to go through such a major life-changing event, to have the courage to just write your own rules, write your own story. What do you want for your life? Go freaking get it.
Yeah. It's like, life is so short.
It really is.
And I even personally suffer from people pleasing. Like I am horrible at saying no.
It's so hard. And you are like not alone in that. It is so hard to say no.
Yes. And I was at this women's conference, and it was like, just remember what you're saying yes to all the time. It means you're saying no to something else.
God, that's good.
Isn't that good?
It's really good.
And so for me, as I work, as I say yes to that extra meeting or yes to getting that last email out the door, I'm saying no to being on time to picking up the kids or getting dinner ready, which I've never cooked a day in my life. But
girl, it's overrated. Don't do it.
In theory.
Don't do it.
But it's just sometimes when you think about those purposeful moments and making that time for yourself and being selfish is okay.
Yes.
But it's so uncomfortable.
It's so uncomfortable. I like, will literally sit with my journal in the morning and to sort of ease my, okay, you know, some days, a lot of days can feel daunting. It's like, okay, how do I do this on my own? How do I do this with 4 kids? One of them is sick, whatever. I'm always like, okay, how am I going to win the day? What do I want today to look like? And I had to really retrain my brain. That doesn't mean productivity. That means, how do I want to feel today? And how am I going to make that happen in all the things that I'm going to do today? And because otherwise, I mean, but I still catch myself saying no to like saying yes to something. And you're so right. I've never thought about it that way, but it is absolutely a sacrifice of something else.
Yeah.
Also, can we pause and talk about your badass career for a second? When Jill's like, oh, when I was at a women's conference meeting, Jill's like on panels constantly at these like national women's conferences. She is a queen of sales. She crushed it in New York, Chicago. Now she's in Cincinnati being an actual boss lady. Just, can you give a quick bio?
You are hilarious. Well, it all started back in 9B on 51st and 2nd.
Yes, it did.
When I started my career in sales.
Yes.
Fast forward 20 years. It's been 20 years of sales. And I love to be around people and I love to represent brands. And so that's how I got started in New York with this company called News America Marketing,
which is owned by whom?
News Corp. So that was a fun experience. I am like corporate through and through, which makes this a very interesting interview dynamic.
Which I love.
But I have grown up in corporate America. And so when I was in New York, I had this itch to get back home to Cincinnati.
Yeah.
And I remember the company at the time did not have any open positions
in Cincinnati.
That. Yes. But they did in Chicago.
Yeah.
And I thought, well, it's a little bit closer.
Right.
And
get that Midwestern
basically
vibe.
Half of Miami is there.
Yeah.
So I know a few people.
Duh.
And so sure enough, 2 weeks later, they're like, you're moving to Chicago.
Yeah.
And I called 2 of my Ursuline friends, Jack Lou Robson and Emily Blinn, and moved in together with them. And then shortly after, maybe 2 years later, I wanted to get into more digital media.
Yeah.
And then that's when I found an opportunity at NBC Universal.
Okay. Did anyone hear that? News Corp, NBC. Let's keep going with that resume.
And then was there for 7 years.
Yeah.
And I wanted to be there forever.
Yeah.
I loved it.
Yeah.
We were selling commercials on Bravo and Oxygen. And
so
I was
fun.
like, this is so funny because with Bravo, I was actually more of like an e-news gal.
Samesies.
And I never knew Real Housewives.
I
don't know all of them. But on the weekends, I would watch it and fold laundry. And my husband was like, get this off the TV. And I'm like, this is paying the bills. Right. So you need to be educated and you need to watch this because anytime
sit down and watch the Bravo.
I can't, when I'm selling it, I can't keep up with the conversations because I didn't know it.
You're so freaking good.
So anyway, that was just fun working on some really cool NBC brands. And then this gal was in Chicago.
Yes, I was. I was working for Deloitte at the time.
You were working for Deloitte.
Yep.
We went up to Soho House, had a little drink
or two.
And you were like, when are you moving to Cincinnati?
Yeah, right. Because I was working for Deloitte out of Cincinnati at the time. And I remember I was on the road quite a bit. And every time I was in Chicago, we met up. But I was like, I mean, if I'm in Cincinnati, which I didn't think I was ever coming back.
Yeah.
I was like, how are you not in Cincinnati? Yeah. And I just had enough. I was like, we're moving you home right now.
Yeah. So you gave me a realtor.
Yep.
Like you also texted Kara Pratt, who's now my boss.
Yep.
And the rest is history. So we made the leap a little over 5 years ago. And now I'm at 8451.
Yes. Such a great company.
Team, and it's great.
And it was so easy for me to say, Kara, you need to meet Jill. Lauren, you need to get this girl a house, because you are such a high value person, both professionally and as a human, that I'm like, you need to live the life that you want to live. Honestly, I was like, you're dying to go back to Cincinnati. I cannot watch you wait another second. You would be phenomenal at this company. They'd be lucky to have you. I'm just going to,
that's so great.
I'm going to,
you wrote my story. Thank you.
No, I was like, you wrote it in pencil and I just put a big Sharpie marker over it and was like, Jill's moving home. But all I did was make the introduction, Jill. You are so good at what you do that I was like, I have no issue being like, Kara, you got to meet this girl. And the rest is history, because you earned it, because you're freaking amazing at what you do. Thank you. Get over it. You earned it.
Thank you. Yeah. I owe you everything.
No,
because it's
I
awesome.
owe you everything.
Like, honestly, being here in Cincinnati is amazing.
Good.
Being close to family is what makes it the best.
Yeah. Yeah. And now we literally have second graders together.
That now we have kids in the same school.
And so far they're all downstairs and the fire alarm hasn't gone off yet.
Yeah. Hopefully everyone's alive.
It's going to be fine.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's going to be fine.
Okay. So that was a little bit about me, but no more. No mas. Okay. All right. So tell us about when you distinctly had that moment, because you did dabble in a little bit back into consulting.
Yes. Okay. So when I worked at Deloitte, that was my last sort of rodeo of corporate. So I started my career at McCann, literally right out of the gate, working for Tom, was doing Super Bowl spots. They were like line extensions, like massive, massive advertising stuff that like, I just was mind blowing that I actually got to do it. It was amazing. Then I switched over to another big company in New York called Gray and was working on P&G and like other big brands. My mom got really sick. My brother moved home from San Francisco. My ex-husband, Chris, and I moved home to Cincinnati from New York. And I started working for a digital agency because, similar to you, I was like, I need to change out of, we were doing all commercials and stuff. I was like, I need to change out of production and get into digital media. So went to the digital side and then found myself at dunnhumby, which then transformed into 8451, which was just the coolest ride. And that transition was just wild. And it's like, that's a whole nother podcast, but really cool. Having marketing roles in each, kind of helping them build out their media business and really bringing that to life in sort of a marketed way. And then launching the brand 8451. And then I had 4 kids, 4 and under. Whoopsie. Big finish with the last 2 being twins. Yeah. And during my whole corporate career, as of being a mom, I was only a mom in Cincinnati, but I had always sort of made my own, as much as you could, made your own schedule. I'd worked 3 days a week. I'd worked 4 days a week. I'd worked 5 short days a week, because there were certain parts of motherhood that I fiercely protected because that was just what I needed. Yeah. And so they wanted me back full time. I couldn't do it. So I started contracting. I was like, who's my network in Cincinnati? Cincinnati is such a network town. We're all so fortunate to know where everyone went to high school. Yeah. We can just look that right up.
Pro and a con.
Right. Yeah. Pro and a con. I know where you went to high school. I know your mom's second cousin first removed. Right. We went to grade school together and we were on club soccer together. So how about that job? Yeah. That's just how it goes here. So I was able to network with advertising agencies, startups and stuff in town, was doing that for a long time. And then one of my contract gigs, I was working for the global CMO for Deloitte, helping them stand up their strategic marketing practice as a contractor. And she was amazing. She is amazing. And I just I had these brand roles that were unbelievable, helping them get their strategic briefs built out in their corporate, across the globe, their standard practice. And then I was like, I love it here. I'm going to hire on full time. was fortunate enough to get a strategic marketing role full time. And it was just very different. I was on the road the whole time, like what you would kind of expect traditional Deloitte to be. Yeah. Met some amazing people, but I talk about like abandoning yourself. I was not home.
Right. Once you're burning the candle on both ends.
Yes. And where I had built my whole corporate career around being flexible to be a mom, because that is just what I needed to feel whole. Then all of a sudden I was like, oh my God. So I quit that, like full stop. And I was like, I need to do something creative, and started this e-commerce business, Elizabeth and Kind, which was like this gift shop where I wanted to wrap everybody's gift and like make these creative things, and it killed it. But then all of a sudden, and I had to hire someone to help fulfill orders. So like that ate into my profit, but still all good. And then I get divorced, and all of a sudden I'm the sole provider, or not a sole provider, but the primary provider for 4 kids. I had to close that all up and go back to consulting. I was like, I got to pay the bills. Right. And, you know, my ex-husband's salary was significant, and that was no longer. And it was just a whole thing. But man, once you become an entrepreneur and you work for yourself and work for things that just light you up because it's your thing, it is really hard to go back to working for somebody else. And I feel like there was a big part of me that was missing. So I worked for Tom, and it was amazing. He's just the best. And the company was really cool. And I worked for him for a long time, but I was also saving my money, knowing that I wanted to. At the time, I thought I was going to reboot Elizabeth and Kind, but as just like this pivot. And I just sat on it, just like what I've learned. If anyone is out there, like, I know I want to do something, but I can't figure it out yet, or I have this idea. If you just sit with it, you don't have to rush it. Just sit with it. It will come to you. And so on my birthday last year, I think, I called my shot and was like, I'm relaunching this. I'm doing, you know, and then I was like, I don't know what this is. I had saved up my money. And then that summer I quit and I'm just doing my savings and have started this full time. And it's a podcast. It's classes for women. It's, a little bit of merch because I love paper to help you get organized and to journal in. And I can't even remember what your question was. Man, it's hard being a guest. But yeah, that's how I got started. And, I've been so fortunate, especially this podcast, like the people have been so supportive, and it's really taken off. And, I'm so passionate about just encouraging women to live the life they want.
Right.
Because I am so fortunate that despite life's twists and turns, which we all have, I'm living the life I really want to live.
Right.
And it feels really freaking good.
I love it. I mean, even everyone you've had on this podcast, it's so cool to hear their story.
Yes.
And how life took them to where they are today.
And that, like, were we on a walk? Yes, we were on a walk. Were we talking with Katie Shear? Was Katie Shear with us? I can't remember. No, she probably wasn't. But I just remember being like, the conversations that I would have with my girlfriends on all these walks where I would be really vulnerable and be like, I'm so anxious. I just started Lexapro because I'm like having a hard time. I'm so overwhelmed, and I finally got on meds and I'm actually feeling better. Or like, okay, now the Lexapro is making me feel a little bit numb. I think I'm ready to get off. Or, oh my God, divorce makes me feel so lonely. Or I'm working for this company, but I feel like I'm losing myself despite the great people that I work with, or whatever, just to open myself up and be so vulnerable. The conversations that would come out of this. And I'm like, these are the conversations that women need to hear over and over. Right. So yes, like, do I want to interview Sarah Blakely from Spanx, and like Gabby Bernstein, who's like this amazing meditative coach, and, Brene Brown, who like lives in research around humanity? Yeah. But the stories of the people in our community and our friends are just as important, if not even more relevant to all the women listening, because like, we're not alone. Whatever it is that you're struggling with, thinking about, wondering about, everybody's wondering about it.
Yes. It's so true. Yes. And then also women in terms of just self-doubt and questioning, and right? did I do the right thing, or should I be doing this?
Yes. Perfection has got to go.
Yes.
Gotta go.
Yes.
I think I really was able to kick that to the curb. And this, what one thing I'm not afraid of, when I said I'm pretty much afraid of everything, I am 100% not afraid of failing anymore. Because when my marriage ended, like, just to be completely honest, I felt like such a failure. And I really meant till death do us part. And it failed. And I felt so much shame and so much failure with that, which I now realize is not real. But like, if I can survive that, and I I have realized that every failure, every door closed, every redirection has served such great purpose in my life that I genuinely am not afraid to fail anymore.
That's amazing.
I'll shoot my shot every time.
Right.
I don't care what happens. As long as I'm being true to myself, I don't care what happens.
Right. And I feel like that to me makes you just have this sense of yourself. Like you know what you want.
Yeah. I had to get really lost before I could get found, kind of thing.
Yeah. I love that.
Mm-hmm.
Someone also told me the other week, this quote of progress over perfection.
Yes.
I love that.
Yes. Yes.
It's like, why do we have to wait to be perfect and have it all in place? Like, just make some progress one day at a time.
In those moments where I feel really doubtful of my worth, which is like a whole nother topic. I think women also really struggle with worth. I think confidence and worth are two very different things. But when I'm really struggling, whether it be confidence or work, I will sit with my journal and I will write 10 things I'm proud of myself for, which sounds so bonkers, but it makes such a difference to be like, I am doing good things. Mm-hmm. Maybe it's just that I got my kids on the bus on time.
Yeah.
But damn if I didn't do it. Or like, it's I wrote a freaking business course. Like, or I don't know, I got dressed today.
Right.
Way to go, girl, because you got a lot of sweats in those clothes.
Wait, okay, can I just like pause here? Because what Betsy didn't share when she's with her son at 6:30 in the morning and she has her coffee. When his bus arrives, okay.
I can't even tell you
I cannot
tell it.
Her driveway is 100 feet on a good day. Tops. And this child, yes, her oldest,
is an able body,
who has legs and can walk, gets a ride to the mailbox.
Yes, he does.
So she drives him and sits there until the bus comes. With her coffee.
And my massage on my
massage.
Yeah, and heat
on a cold day. Mm-hmm. Hayden gets on the bus and then she puts it in reverse and just goes back to the garage.
Yes,
and that is the best thing I've ever heard. Talk about a mom being there for her son. I'm surprised he didn't get on the bus and just like show him to his seat.
You know what?
It's 5.
It's honestly, you make me sound like such a selfless mother. It is completely self-serving because it is dark and cold. I don't feel like getting out of my pajamas yet. I don't feel like
you.
It's 1,000% about me. I'm like, come on, hey, let's do it. So I literally, I probably have my slippers on. If not barefoot, I'm in my pajamas, definitely no bra, like hair in a messy bun, maybe still my reader glasses, because yes, I'm 29. And I'm like, wait, I can't see far away now, so I have to take those off. And I drive him.
It's just everything.
The 75 feet
it's
down the
everything
driveway.
And more. It's everything. This kid has no idea what reality is, and I can't wait.
Absolutely not.
For him to go to New York, and he's like, oh, I shouldn't have this sushi.
No, I shouldn't have this sushi. I shouldn't wait for the subway. Oh my God.
That's
but
hilarious.
Yes, that is how we do it. And now that it's like warmer and light out, I'm like, oh God, do I have to get dressed? I still have yet to get dressed. We're still in the car.
You're still driving.
Still in the car.
Windows down, sunroof open.
And my sweet son, I'm like raising him right. He puts on my heated steering wheel and my heated seat for me because he doesn't want mom to be cold.
I love it.
As I drive, I'm like, thank you, Hayden.
Yes.
So kind.
Gentlemen to the fullest.
That is the kind of mother I am. I'm like, I would rather save 2 more minutes sitting in the house and not have to go get myself dressed to walk down to the end of the driveway. I'm like, let's get in the car, bro.
Yeah.
And I wave with no shame to the bus driver.
The bus driver is totally judging, and you're like,
she also wants to chat. I'm like, I'll chat with you when the other 3 get on the bus and I've had my second cup of coffee, but this one is just going to be a silent wave.
Too soon. All right, so that was a little pause.
Throw me under the bus.
I just had to share that because when I heard it, it was the best thing I've ever heard. Okay, so we're going to shift gears back to Write Your Own Story. Okay, so if you could give just like an elevator pitch of Write Your Own Story.
Yes.
And a little bit about what the listeners can expect.
Yes. Okay. So Write Your Own Story is genuinely to encourage women to live the life that they want to dream about, to put societal shoulds to the curb in what you think you should do and what society tells you to do. Kick it to the curb and just live whatever feels right to you. And with that, it's kind of like a 3-pillar approach. There's the podcast to tell women's stories, and that's all around empowering women to live the life that they dream about. And also, if you dream about rest because you are raising toddlers, rest. If you dream about ambition, go be ambitious. Like, this isn't just like every woman should be overperforming. This is be exactly who you are, where you are. There is the Female Founders Academy, which is a digital course that is 4 weeks with some accountability groups and office hours. But basically, like, I've been an entrepreneur now. This is my third time. I've done a nonprofit, I've done the e-commerce business, and now I've done this. And I know what it takes to start and run a business, especially for that first year. You are so lonely, so lost, so full of doubt. And so this is really like a community-based course with other women who are rooting for you, and like you get to know them. I mentor you through it. There's a very specific structure. So you have checked every box and have like every decision-making tool you need. And my most important part about it is it's very simple, because it's so easy to overcomplicate business. And that is where people die on the vine.
Yeah.
Keep it simple, make your decisions, be nimble, fail a ton, learn. So that's really what the course is all about. And I've heard so many women get started, but they don't finish. So there's accountability. We'll meet quarterly to make sure that we're all still moving, because I believe in what you're up to. And then the last bit is I have journals and notebooks and coffee mugs and that kind of stuff. One, because I literally am obsessed with paper. And I have a high schooler who'll come over and help me with a couple of chores around the house a couple hours a week. She's a doll. And today she came over, she caught me dancing in the kitchen. Seriously? Yes, I literally didn't know she came in through the garage, which I love. And I was literally just like, dun, 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 in the kitchen. And I was like, hey. It's like, don't mind me just dancing through the house. And then I grabbed my coffee and my journal and I went and sat in the sunshine and wrote in a journal. And she must be like, this girl is 85.
She's like, no, she's like, I want to be 42 because this seems really fun.
It was honestly, I'm just living my best life over here. So those are really the 3 pillars for how I make money and how I serve women. And the most important part for me as a business owner is that I have the flexibility. I can't work more than 25 hours a week because I have to. So finding sources of passive income, finding things that are scalable, like a podcast, finding things that could make passive revenue, like wholesale or whatever it may be. I've learned, because I've worked very non-passive income with my e-commerce business and trying to hustle people to get to events for the nonprofit, that like, that's a lot of work. And my work, you know, I have multiple jobs. I'm a mom, right. I'm a me, and everyone's got to stay afloat. So I really like guard my time preciously, but I work hard and smart.
It's funny. I think as we get older too, it's like time is precious.
Yes. Time is precious. And tomorrow is not guaranteed.
Right.
And like, for some reason, when I say that, I think, you know, it could scare a lot of people, and I don't mean it to be scary. It brings me, peace is probably not the right word. It makes me very present, because I'm just like, tomorrow is not guaranteed. I am not wasting today. I refuse to waste today. There are some days that are really shitty, and I just know, girl, just try again tomorrow.
Right.
Like, you can't get them all right, but like, take a beat, go to sleep, get up and try again tomorrow.
Right. And I think you personally can say you are fulfilling not only yourself, but others through this journey.
Yes. I'm so glad you said that. Write your own story for me as a person, where I get to live my life authentically. This isn't, oh, look at Betsy, she's had a great business career and she can help you in business. What lights me up and what feels so authentic to me as a human, as a soul, as everything, is service. Like, I felt that way with Polo for Babies, building this, you know, like or even just sitting and talking to a girlfriend and being like, we're moving you home. You're brilliant. You're smart. Let's get you there. I know 2 people that could just help. Right. Let's try it. Serving others is just what lights me up. I've done the business where I'm like, let me make pretty stuff. And that was really fun. And that absolutely has value for those that it lights up. But for me, I always felt like something was missing. And now I know it's service. So I built this business around service.
I love that.
Yeah.
So for those who have taken the course, tell us a little bit about the feedback, their experience, some of the reviews.
Yeah. Everyone has been, I've had a handful of people run through, like 2 handfuls of people run through the course, and everyone, maybe it's because they're friends, but everyone has just been so, consistent in their feedback that they're like, this is what I wish I had when I started my business. That it is literally like a best friend sitting down with you being like, okay, let's make sure we know what kind of life you want to live, why you care so much about your business, what makes you different. And then we literally get into like, okay, what's your offering? How are we going to structure it? How are we going to price it? How are we going to build that into a financial model? What are your financial goals? Like maybe there's no reason that everyone needs to come out of the gate swinging home runs. Like do it as a side hustle, test it out, see if you like it. It doesn't even have to be profitable. Just wiggle with it for a little bit, but you still need to know what you're wiggling with. And then another huge part is that so many women won't show up online. So there's a big marketing component to it of like, what is the simple structures for how do you show up online? So you know exactly what you need to post during the week. And it's just as light touch as it can be. So you don't have to be like, oh my God, I can't believe no one needs to be dancing in front of the camera, making reels. Like, I mean, if you want to, you should, you totally should. But yeah, so it's essentially like how to build the business based on who you are as a human. And the reviews have been awesome. So it's, you know, that this is what they needed. This is the structure that they needed. They feel empowered. They feel they went from sort of this like overwhelmed and lost to feeling really confident. Which just makes me so happy because that's all, this isn't about me. I literally wrote it as I started this business because I'm like, no one knows how to, I mean, everyone sort of categorically knows how to do it, but like, this is literally every single step I went through to be like, okay, girl, I like, please let me turn around and help the next person.
Right. I love it. Yeah. And it's fun. Like all the people you've interviewed are phenomenal.
Aren't they the best?
Speaking of just like opportunities that spoke to them and they took advantage of it and they made a business out of it.
Yeah.
And coming from corporate America, when you think about a job, you just think corporate. Yeah. Everyone's doing a different corporate job.
Yeah.
But the startup side is really powerful.
It's I was only corporate until what is that? Since COVID. I mean, I did the nonprofit, but I had my full-time corporate job while I was doing that. And it is like a whole nother world. I love it though.
Right.
I absolutely love it. It's just the freedom that comes from it. I mean, also like, but you have to be really like, you can also work 24 hours a day because it's your business and you care so much. I think you have to let go of, I mean, we all have to make money, but like you have to let go of your value and your worth is not in the performance of your company. It's like how you show up every day as a human. Are you doing what you love? Like that kind of stuff. And you really get a lot of say over that as a business owner.
Right. I love that. I think too, like women multitask. And so with this, it's like how to create that space to focus on this and that structure around that and how to find that time during the week. So you're not just working 24 hours a day.
Yes. I have to stop myself from working all the time. I mean, obviously I'm like hyperactive. Did you just hear kids?
Yeah, I did.
Nothing's on fire yet, team. But I had to like really, I have to put some guardrails around that. Also, like I'm a big believer in like, this is just how I work, but like bursts. I work in like, I will schedule 2 hours and just burst through a ton of stuff. And I'm more productive in 2 hours as an entrepreneur than I am in a full day at a corporate job because I'm not stuck in meetings all day.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
And you're just hyper focused and you get it done.
Yes. And then I need to go lay on the couch for 30 minutes and just like, or watch some Will and Grace or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or sit and have my coffee and dance in the kitchen and get busted by my 18-year-old bestie.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah. That was amazing. I'm trying to think what else I could tell you. I think one thing that is really important for me for women, and maybe this could just be me projecting, but one of the things in my life right now is to really learn to love the here and now and where my feet are. And that means to enjoy every single day. So that means I look at my day in a 360 view and I make sure that I do it. That has been my new key to success as a human, but as a entrepreneur, I really had to do some work. And I think women in general have to do this, whether you're an entrepreneur or not, around worth. We have all had so much influence in our lives of what makes us not worthy, our body shape, our intelligence, whether it's true or not, where we fit in family systems, how people, respect us or don't, or, like men with their lack of boundaries or women with their lack of boundaries and their catting it. Like we've just all experienced so much in life that can really detract from self-worth, and confidence is a different thing. You can put on an outfit. Confidence comes from doing things multiple times and knowing that you're going to do it. But worth is like how you feel about yourself on the inside. And when you put something out into the world that is a product of your own, and the fear of, are people going to accept it? Are people going to love it? Am I going to fail? When you really believe in your worth and that this is just a genuine, authentic expression of yourself and what you love, how it performs is no longer on the table. I will always find ways to make money. Don't get me wrong. But and thankfully things are going really well. But I think it is a reflection because I finally sat in my worth and I'm like, you know what? I've had a hell of a career. I am a good friend. I'm a good, I think I'm a good listener. I love to tell stories. I love to design, and I geek out about business. So all of these things are genuinely authentic to me. And, the rest is I just kind of let fate write it from there.
Right. Yeah. Right. Well, if you're so passionate about something, you're going to succeed because you care.
Yeah, truly. Yeah. And the universe, it listens.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes. So I just have a lot of faith and just really make sure that I enjoy it, and to make sure that what brings me fulfillment is not performance based, even though the performance always follows. But if you get caught up in what are my numbers? How did this metric perform? I mean, all that stuff matters. Don't get me wrong, but that's not where your worth comes from. That to me has been a game changer in my peace, in my happiness, in my ability to keep going. Because when I first put out the business planner, I did a soft launch a long time ago. I didn't believe in myself enough yet. Honestly, I could barely promote it online. I could barely get online and talk about it. I could barely figure out what to write about it. I just didn't believe in myself enough. And that just took time. And now I'm like, no, wait. Yeah, this is good. And I don't care if everyone signs up for it or no one signs up for it. That will happen over time. But what I put out is so authentic. I know it's valuable, and I just want to serve.
Right. And you're so good at it, and you're delivering with confidence.
Yeah. Because I just believe in myself. Right. Yeah. Right. Yeah. Which feels so weird as a woman to say out loud, doesn't it?
Yeah. Well, you deserve it.
Thanks. Well, so do you.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay. So for those listening, tell us next steps, how to get involved.
Yeah. So the registration closes March 1st, which is this coming Friday. I don't know when reels and all this kind of stuff or when the episode will even air, but March 1st is registration close. And I will not offer this course again until October, because I'm going to protect my time, because the course will go live in April, but registration closes March 1st. And then we're going to do the course it's 1 hour a week for all of April. On Wednesdays around lunchtime. It will be recorded if people can't make it or kids are sick or whatever. The pages for the class will be released on Monday, so you can do some pre-thinking. We'll talk for an hour on Wednesday. I'll hold office hours on Friday, so you can ask me specific questions about your business. You'll be required to interview people in your group so you can get to know these other women and share stories and help each other. And then after that, April comes May. Anyone who's got kids in school knows May is nuts. So I'm I'm just going to be a mom in May and do some podcast stuff. I want to enjoy my summer with my kids and do my podcast. And then we all know back to school is nuts. So September is nuts. So I'll offer it again in October, but that's it.
Okay. Write down that date. March 1st.
March 1st. Sign up. So if you go to writeyourownsstory.co, you click on female founders, or if you are watching on Instagram and this is a reel, you just click my link in my bio. It's right at the top. I would love to help anyone who wants to start a side hustle, a full-time, a part-time. Right now it's really discounted. It's like $3 something. I can't even remember. I should probably know this, but whatever. It's $3 something. And I would take advantage of this discounted price, because let's just start a side hustle. Let's figure out my favorite goal is to replace my Amazon habit, because it takes down my whole family. I'm like, look what else showed up at the door. I get so sad when a package doesn't arrive.
It's her receiving area at her front. I'm not even kidding. Her
shipping and receiving
is a shipping and receiving.
Literally.
It's magical.
It's magical. Yes, when you came over the other night, and you and Artie were the best.
Yeah.
You brought me tequila because I had had a bad day. And so you brought me tequila and sat in my kitchen, and you walked into a shit ton of boxes. I was like, please mind shipping and receiving area. Don't mind me. But yeah, so anyway, yes, if you need to just replace your Amazon habit and that's your only financial goal, that doesn't honestly matter if you hit it or not. How fun is that to have a target, to do this on the side, to dabble, to screw up, to get it right, And to have these women alongside with you to be like, here's what I sucked at. Here's what I was great at. We're all learning together.
Right.
Truly.
Right. Because there's so many people probably listening and they're like, should I do this?
Yes.
And you might have a corporate job. You might also be doing some dabbling in the startup, but this is a way to have some friends, kind of like college.
Yeah.
And having other people to hold you accountable and getting it off the ground.
Yes. Just believe in yourself and just give it a try and kick failure to the curb. Who cares? Literally, who cares? What's the worst thing that happens to you if you try something and either A, you decide, I didn't really love that, or B, it didn't make any money? Who cares? One other thing I will share is that my kids have never been more proud of me. And then when
I can tell they're so proud.
Yeah. And it's, I don't know. That's the best feeling in the world. I'm proud of myself, but man, it feels really good to make them proud.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, they're all four looking up to you.
Silly rabbits.
Well, thank you, Betsy.
Oh my God, Jill.
I loved getting everyone to learn more about the beautiful human you are inside and out, and how you're authentic to the bone.
Trying.
And we're grateful for you.
Oh, I'm grateful for you. I am grateful for you getting me started at Miami, getting me all that Tiffany jewelry. Oh God, making room for my stuff on the moving truck and showing up at my door with tequila when I'm having a bad day. Your friendship is just one of the ones that's going to last a lifetime. And you absolutely live a life full of authenticity. You are just kind and open to the bone. And I'm just so grateful for you for doing this, one of all, but just for you and for being in my life.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, thank you for allowing me to steal your seat for a day and host this podcast.
Oh my gosh. All right, you guys. This was a wild one. Thank you, Jill. And thank you everyone for listening. If this episode feels like something that is important to someone that you know in your life, please share it because, this is not self-serving. I am here out of service. If this feels like something that would resonate with somebody else, whether it be for starting your own business or being vulnerable or embracing all the crazy stuff that I do, please share because we're all just trying to help each other out. But again, thank you for your time. I love you.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Love you more.
Oh, thanks guys for listening. We'll catch you next time. Well, that's the end of this episode, but promise me you won't stop here with whatever it is you're feeling or dreaming about. I hope you leave today feeling empowered to live life just as you see fit. If this podcast was helpful to you, it would mean the world to me if you could leave a review on whatever platform you're listening on. I genuinely just want to help women live the life they dream about. So if this type of content tracks with you, subscribe to this podcast or visit our website, writeyourownsstory.co, to download digital courses or to grab a journal and a mug to just dream in and dream with. It's your life, lady. Do you. And just remember, I'm rooting for you and you've totally got this.